Wake up at Holiday Inn Express to a can't-miss breakfast that's free with every stay. Count on all the hot, fresh coffee you need and an incredible breakfast buffet that has something for everyone, like eggs, cinnamon rolls, and even hot, fresh pancakes with all the toppings you crave. Next time, do yourself a favor and stay at a Holiday Inn Express with a can't-miss breakfast that's free with every stay. So, when you wake up at Holiday Inn Express, you'll wake up happy. A part of IHG Hotels and Resorts.
My name is Terry Lynch. I'm with Oregon Mythology. I found myself searching for a passageway one day. And that passageway leads right across the complete section of the Cascades, which I'm sitting in front of at the moment. On top of Blind Peak. I want to make sure that everybody sees the type of things that we find in the process of research for mythology. I have located a couple that's sitting here on the top of Blind Peak. She's facing south. She's looking north.
The Middle, Cascadia Guides, a Let's production, in conjunction with Alien Strand Films.
Amount of evidence for the reality of the Allagash abductions for any other subject, any mundane subject, in a court of law, you could hang a person probably. But because of the bizarre nature of the case, that's not going to happen. People aren't going to accept that evidence, although the evidence is there.
After my experience happened, I kind of just put it in the back of my mind, thinking, my friends and family, they're gonna think I'm crazy. And now I saw a show about this doctor removing alien implants from people, emitting radio frequencies, and until the doctor removed it. And right there, a light went off in my head. That's what happened to me. It's got to be what happened.
I was in bed. I saw this very giant, looked like about 7 foot tall praying mantis. It seemed motherly at the time. It looked like a praying mantis that was used telepathy to talk to me. Wanted me to allow her or him to take me to her ship. And I didn't want to go, so I said no.
Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Extras, not Alien Strand Podcast, but we are a podcast too, right? So anyway, thank you for being on just kind of chiming in today, right? This is going to be a recorded show, but we're just so used to doing things live all the time, but it's okay. Just don't forget, catch us on 26, 27 platforms all over the place, on iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're on audio, man. Audio. You got to listen to us on audio all over the place. This is, every time we put out a podcast, we get about maybe 2,000 downloads on that podcast. So we know it's doing a great thing. So, Today, we're going to have a special guest. Her name is Elizabeth Jeffries. We're going to get her on here shortly, but I just want to thank everybody for being a part of Alien Strand Extras. We couldn't do anything without you. We have a few subscribers already. It's growing. A couple of people every day. We got a lot of free people already that are coming in too. So apparently they like what's happening here. They like what we're doing. So it's $5 a month. You can't beat that with a stick. It's cheap. I got a bag of chips and a Coke, man. And you can watch some really good stuff here. Like I said, I've been having a couple of podcasts, prior to this one. And, they were actually pretty darn good. A lot of people give me a lot of props on it. How well they just came out. We did the Pulsar project about this, about the scientist that kind of went dark after he gave all his information away to some folks, and they wrote this small book called Pulsar Project on everything that he found on extraterrestrials. Check that out. Now, if you guys are a subscriber to Alien Strand Extras, you're able to download this for free. I'm giving this to you guys for free for the people that pay $5 a month. You are our Patreons, man. So this is my way of saying thank you, and you get to download this for free. Just remember that, all right? So, we're always so busy doing a lot of things. I'm going through the merch. I'm trying to get some merch here for you guys. I'm getting the shirts made. This is going to be free for people that have been, that are paying subscribers. All right. So you get that white shirt there on the left. The coffee mug, that's for a different kind of Patreon. If you want to pay, I think like $5 a month extra for 3 months, you get the coffee cup. Or if you want to pay $10 a month for 3 months, you get that nice Alien Strand, that the middle part 2 shirt. They'll send it to you after 3 months, right? And then they'll stop billing you from there on. Okay. So if you guys have a chance, please join our freaking Patreon, man. You can't beat it. We have such good stuff here. Don't forget, tonight it's called Lights in the Sky with Elizabeth Jeffries. We're going to talk about a lot of things that happened to her out there in Pecos, New Mexico. She's actually one of the people that are on our film, The Middle, our first film. All right. So if you have a chance, stick around, listen to what she has to say tonight. It's going to be a great, great show. Don't forget to catch The Middle, man. You have to catch this film. It's getting ready to go away pretty soon. And we're just, what we're thinking of? We're thinking of putting this on YouTube, man. So you guys that haven't seen it can watch it on YouTube. All right. And we might get that up there pretty soon. So just kind of stick around for that. And I hope you guys are able to catch it. You'll see it on Alien Strand podcast there on YouTube, and you'll see it there on Let's Productions on YouTube as well. All right. But right now, we're still on Amazon Prime, $2.99. Can't beat it. Get it for free. Tubi TV is free. TCL, it's free, with commercials. But if you go to Amazon Prime, no commercials, $2.99 straight off the bat. All right. So, it's a give and take. That's what's so cool about it, right? The middle 2 is done, right? So I'm just dotting the dots on the I's and crossing the T's on this. It's all production. You guys will be seeing it on Amazon Prime here pretty soon. I'm going to say 3 weeks. This is just me. It's not them. It's just me. It might just be that much amount of time. All right, so be looking out for this film. It's getting great reviews. Everybody's really enjoying this film. So I hope you guys watch it, man, when it comes out. Don't forget to join Alien Strand Disclosure Project. We are a Facebook group there. If you haven't joined, please join and can be part of our team, because there is no I in team. All right. So tonight, like I said, we're going to get Elizabeth Jeffries on, and she's going to tell a couple of strange things that have been happening in her area. So let's go ahead and bring her in now. There she is. Right on. So thank you for being on the show today. And we were able to get you on the film The Middle, and I'm glad you were part of it. Yeah. So tell us about you and about where you live, everything out there, man.
Well, I moved here in 1999. I moved to New Mexico in about 2005. I moved to this house in Pecos, which is a beautiful area. It's actually the National Forest. A lot of folks go camping up there, which I like. It's for free. There's some places that you can pay for, but for the most part, it's kind of like, you're boondocking, just going in the woods there. But it's really nice. We have a lot of animals out here, a lot of elk, deer, bear, some cougars. But at least it's very enjoyable. I love going up to the mountains. It's very refreshing. It's very, it's just beautiful. You can't beat it. It's very pretty. So I love coming up, going up for a ride. And if anybody ever has a chance to visit Pecos, the national park, you should really visit that park. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, I've been there a couple of times. I just love it. Every time I go over there, you know, we go straight up there to that mountain over there in Pecos Mountain, and that state park in that area. It's just, you know, we shot some good, nice, pretty drone footage up there when we did the film The Middle. And I know, I mean, for people that don't know where Pecos, New Mexico, there is a Pecos, Texas, and there's a Pecos, New Mexico.
That's
So
right.
this is over here by Santa Fe, New Mexico. Has anybody ever been by Santa Fe? How far are you from Santa Fe?
About 30 minutes.
About
About
30
half
minutes.
Mhm.
Right. And it gets into more like kind of woodsy area towards your area, correct?
Which is great because it's not, you don't have a regular residential area. Everybody has their own piece of land, a couple of acres, 3 acres. Up in the mountains, you get even more. So they'll have hundreds of acres up there with just one single home or log cabin. Most of them are log cabins up there, but it's actually very nice.
Wow. Do you guys do a lot of camping out there?
You know, we do go quite a bit up there, but we've been trying to reach out, branch out to other areas. Red River's very nice. Angel Fire is really pretty up there, especially during the winter as the snow falls. So it's really, it's just a great place to go and visit because you actually get to see a lot of mountains and animals out and about. So I really enjoy it, you know, and we actually really enjoy it. So anytime we get a chance to get away for the weekend, we're gone.
I don't blame you, man. I mean, it's, especially that nice weather that you guys have up there. Now, we were able to be on our film, The Middle. That's you right there on the right side. You came out on the later segment of the film, probably by maybe in the 35, 40-minute part of the segment of the film. And because the reason we put you on the film is because you had an incredible story, and we wanted to put it out there because actually yours got a lot of attention on the film after it was done and completed. Everybody that saw it, they're like, wow, yours really stuck out, right? And I know it was kind of like a last bit of thing, a moment when we filmed it, but you know, I'm glad we were able to get you the information that you were able to put out there. Now, I'm going to show a little part of the film, The Middle, where you came out, okay? And then after that, let's just go ahead and start talking about what happened to you out there, okay? So here we go. I'm going to watch, let's go ahead and watch this little part.
My name is Elizabeth Jeffries, and I live in Pecos, New Mexico. I did see one event early on when I first moved into the home in 2006. The only reason I remember it because it was right before my anniversary. And I thought it strange. Well, I was asleep and my dog was barking out of control. It woke me up. I was startled. And I went to the front window to see what was going on. And I wasn't sure what was happening. I thought there were kids that were playing out there, maybe in a vehicle, driving around on the grass. I just wasn't sure what was happening. So it was cool outside. It's still cool in April. And I opened the door. And I noticed that all the other dogs in the area were also barking. So at that point, I thought, well, what the heck's going on? So I went outside, and I couldn't figure out why all the dogs were barking.
Lean on us.
We are here for you.
You matter.
You are not alone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Not sure where to turn? The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there for you 24/7. Call or text 988 or chat at 988sc.org. Whether you're having an emergency or you know someone who needs support now, they can help you take the next step towards finding hope and healing.
There is hope. 988sc.org.
Wow. Yeah, that was, that's great. I love the way that just kind of comes in. I bet you kind of feels a little strange seeing yourself on film like that, right? Like when you see it on TV.
Right. Well, I'm trying to decide whether I want to be a blonde or stay with the red.
Right. So let's continue with that. Okay. So the people that are here today that have actually watched the film, but let's dive a little bit deeper into it. Because I know there's some things we probably missed out a little bit on the film that we didn't get to touch base on. Let's talk about those lights. And tell us exactly what happened that day or what.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, my dog Marcus was going crazy, and I just found it odd. But the weirdest part was that I just couldn't. Every dog was howling, and I decided to walk outside, and I noticed that there was lights in the far distance. I mean, because there was no development at that time, so we were one of the few houses on this area, and so I thought, well, I can see the lights, but I'm not sure what it is. So I kept peeking out the window, and because we have these big bay windows, and I kept looking outside and thinking, that doesn't look right. So I walked outside barefooted, I didn't even have my shoes on, but I kept noticing that there was these huge lights that seemed like they were bouncing on the grass. And I thought first it was a helicopter, maybe somebody escaped from the jail. I wasn't sure. We don't have a very big jail here in this little town, but you never know. But as I started looking at it, I thought, well, there's no noise, where's the helicopter? And I kept thinking, so I got a little startled, and I started, thinking, is this a UFO or what is it? So I ran outside, got my shoes, banged on the door to my husband, telling him that I think there's a UFO outside, and he was taking a shower. And I ran back out, put my slippers on, and ran to the outside of the front of the house. And as I was watching it, and the strangest thing was that it's like I told people, it was an oval circle. It just looked like these humongous beams of light, and they were bouncing perfectly in these huge circles where you can just look like daytime. And they just kept bouncing, and they just kept bouncing, and it was just like that. And I thought, what the heck are they looking for? And I kept looking up, thinking, okay, I'm bound to see a craft, I'm bound to see something, but there was nothing. And the funny part about it is that we have a beautiful sky here. It's like being in an auditorium somewhere or a planetarium where you get to see all these gorgeous stars, because it just seems like you could just touch them. And I didn't see anything that night, but I could definitely see these lights, bouncing up and down. So as I started to get closer to the end of the street, across the street, and the beam of light was just right there in front of me. And I looked at it, and I thought to myself, do I want to walk into the light? Because I wasn't sure. It was a little scary to think the what ifs, because, you do hear that sometimes these guys could be good or bad. And I didn't want to find out which one it was.
I don't blame you. Now, when let's talk about the detail about the light, if you can remember. Now, I know this was some time ago, but when the light was coming down in front of you, did it look like it was luminescence? Like, did it look like a laser kind of, or just look like a spotlight?
I didn't even see a beam coming down. All I could see was the lights, and and that's what startled me. It almost reminded me like a flashlight. You know how you turn off and on a flashlight? That's what it looked like, but I couldn't exactly see what was going up, if it was going up into the sky, if it was coming down. I almost thought at one point it was maybe coming from the ground, because I just didn't know where it was coming from. That was the strangest part. And I was pretty startled about it, to be honest.
Right. Now, I know when this was happening, did you hear any kind of noise, anything like that?
Nothing at all. Nothing that I could say. That's why I kept thinking it was a helicopter at first, but then I kept waiting for the propellers or something that I could hear, and nothing ever. There was never any sound. And so, as I kept approaching closer and closer to that circle, I kept thinking I could see every blade of grass. It looked like daylight, and I'm thinking, geez, they must be looking for something, but I just didn't know what. And I was excited. I was really excited, but I was really nervous at the same time.
Right.
So I just didn't know what to do at that point. But other than just step back a little bit and just look at it.
How long did the event last for?
I don't think it was longer than, I'm going to say 10 or 15 minutes, because I just kept staring at it, and I didn't know whether or not if something was going to happen. I was waiting for something to happen. I guess I was waiting to see if something was going to if I was going to actually see something other than the lights. But that was exciting all by itself, because like I said, the dogs did not stop barking or yelling. As a matter of fact, my dog just walked in the doors making a little click clack. So I have to excuse my husband for bringing in the dog.
It's okay. So you said in the film, I know part of the later part of the film, you mentioned that you were that you called MUFON, or actually you wrote them an email, and And did they respond right away, or what is it that they told
Well,
you?
before I did that, I actually, that same night, I called 911. And so I asked them if anybody else had reported these lights, because I couldn't understand why I was the only one that saw it. Because as the lights had disappeared, the dog stopped barking and everything just went quiet. So I wasn't sure what was going on at that point, So I kept thinking, well, this. And so I asked the lady, has anybody reported any lights in Santa Fe, right? And they said no. They said nobody's reported. She kind of said this way. She said no, and I thought, oh shoot, she probably thinks I'm nuts. And then she goes, maybe you should call your local police department. And I thought, it's okay. I just won't even do that. So at that point, I went ahead and the next day I decided to contact MUFON, and I sent them an email, and they did respond. So they did call me just to see what my experience, what I had. Did I lose any time? I don't think I lost any time. It was just, I think my adrenaline was just going as to what was happening.
So you were just pretty much in the moment experiencing what had happened and things like that.
Right.
And you said the dogs in the area, or not just your dog, but there was, I'm sure, a lot of dogs in the area were kind of going nuts as well.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, we put that together a lot. That's what happens to people sometimes, that you get to kind of just go through that. That every time there's a UFO or anything that flies over your house, that or something, that the dogs kind of go freaking nuts. You know what I mean? They I don't know. It's the humming noise, I guess. What Terry Lynch, what he describes as the D-sharp hypothesis that he has. It's, in other words, it's a low frequency that it's inaudible to us to hear, but it's like for the dogs, it just kind of drives them nuts. You kind of agree with that?
Well, I always have trouble I have the ringing in my ears. That's one of the things that I noticed. And I thought it was kind of strange that I had it that night. I think that I just believe that that's what it is. Just I'm getting older. So I'm hearing those little squeaks and so forth in my ears, where it's like a high pitch, it's almost like you can hear it. And so you're not sure what to do about it, but it's very strange that it happened that way. And it was, like I said, it was exciting, nevertheless, and I just couldn't believe that nobody came outside to see what was going on. Nobody. And it was, there's like I guess about 10 houses out here. And I thought, gosh, nobody came outside. I was the only one that saw this.
Well, I know that you have a neighbor down the street, and you said that you guys talked one time. And what's the story that she told you, that she saw like the sky blacked out or something like that?
Yes. Well, I mentioned to her what had happened to me one night. And so I asked her basically, that if she had ever had any kind of experiences like that. Did she ever notice any kind of strange noises, or seen anything? And she goes, that's funny you said that. She says, because my neighbor next door, she says that she sees crafts all the time coming above her house, and that she actually gets a little scared about it. So because she gets so scared, she tries to she puts her little saints out, because she gets really spooked about it. But that she can actually see where the stars go out, and all she sees is a craft hovering above her home. Right. So maybe it's someone that maybe she's connected somehow, some way. I'm not sure. But it was
and this is what I talked about with Nancy Timms on one of my podcasts I did about a couple of weeks ago. We talked about being a contactee, and we talk about being an abductee. Hers is she's a contactee. In other words, she gets to talk with them through the interdimensions. They pick her up and they take her. They can bring her back, things like that, without any kind of repercussions. They don't hurt her or anything like that, right? So your neighbor, she hasn't told you anything like bad about anything like that, right?
No, she didn't have any experiences like that. But apparently, even my neighbor, she said her husband has had experiences up in his cabin. So he's got a cabin where he goes hunting, and he's had a couple of strange little happenings where they think they saw a craft, but right. They've been here longer than I have, so they obviously feel like that they've seen stuff, way before I ever even moved in. So apparently there's some kind of connection up here. I'm not sure what. Maybe it's the mountains get so high. I'm not sure, but something.
Yeah, and I brought that to the film. Like the mountains have some kind of connection with these UFO crafts. Terry brings it up too in the film with the geoglyphs up there. We talk about how the extraterrestrial craft fly over that geoglyph a lot, and he was catching a lot of crafts up there, UFO craft, right? So, and you're about what, 6,000 feet above sea level, maybe 6,500?
Something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I just got corrected by my husband. 69.
69. Okay. 1,600. Well, that's a pretty good height up there. And you know, we've talked about like hives and things like that. Like maybe they're these things you can't see them, but they're going into the damn mountains. We've seen videos of them into volcanoes where they're coming in and out of freaking volcanoes. Now, it's a possibility you guys are a hotspot, man, for some reason. Do you know if there was any kind of like volcanic activity out there way a long time ago in your area? Maybe
I don't know, but you know, it's funny you say that because I know I talked to a friend of mine and her husband's a geologist of some kind, but he said that there's a big old line that goes all across New Mexico, some kind of so he just says, yeah, we have like a fault line or something going on. And wow. But you do see volcanic once you start heading out like to Farmington. You know, grants out that way. I mean, you start seeing the black rocks and the petrified wood or rocks, whatever's out there. Right. But there's definitely something over there. But as you know, Dulce also has some strange happenings over there, and Dulce, in New Mexico, where they have the strange frequency that people feel that they if they get close to it or something, they feel kind of off. Just to my understanding.
Yeah, well, the Dulce bases, that's where they had that big fight down there with the aliens, and the guy killed a bunch of them, and they shot his fingers off. I forgot his name right now, but of course he died. He was actually killed. So they found him strangled with some piano chords, unfortunately.
I remember that.
Yeah, that poor guy. So let's talk about the connection that you're starting to have now. When we kind of make things a little different to where you started having like almost supernatural kind of things happening in your home, right?
Things are weird. I always think that something's a little off in this house. My son Joshua doesn't like to stay here at all. He says he gets nightmares every time he stays here. And I always tell Rodney, there's always something happening, or I feel like there's always something. But one night we had gone for vacation. I came back and I noticed that the bed had been undone in the spare bedroom, and I thought somebody was in the attic. So I kept making everybody go up to the attic to see if somebody was up there. And finally, I got so tired of doing it a couple of times that I actually put a camera in there just to see if I could catch something, you know. And I didn't see anything, but sure enough, it happened again, you know. And I wasn't sure. I thought, well, maybe it's a friend of ours that had passed away because he used to stay here, and he used to actually stay in that spare bedroom. So I thought maybe it was him visiting, but I wasn't sure.
Right.
You know? So that was a little strange.
Has anybody else other than your son experienced anything different in there as far as that?
No, I think for the most part, it's just been me while I'm sitting here. You know, like as a matter of fact, last night the dog and I were watching TV. No, the night before last. And he stood up with his ears perked up and he looked in the hallway, and I thought, okay, what does he see? And I thought, is it good or bad? You know,
oh, wow.
I wasn't sure what he was experiencing, if it was good or bad. You know, and those things are kind of a little freaky, but he calmed down. So I thought, well, it must not be bad. So I just kind of let it go. But if things get kind of crazy, I think I told the story sometime back about these little red lights. I know I mentioned to my mother-in-law sometime back. This happened years ago, but I saw it in my bedroom, and I woke up one morning because I don't know what got my attention, and they were red and they were just going around in circles. And so I stood up and I looked, and I was kind of like frozen. But I could see, and I could hear the whispering, pss, 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 you know, and I was like, what are they saying? What are they saying? And it kind of threw me a little bit. So I got kind of freaked out about it. And I told my mother-in-law the next day, I said, you know, I'm not sure if I heard this correctly or not, but I swear there was somebody talking in my bedroom. And I was so frozen with fear that I really didn't want to move. So she goes, what do you think it was? I said, I have no idea, but it totally threw me for a loop. And I didn't know what to think about it. Now, that hasn't happened again, but it did happen. And I thought it was just kind of odd, you know, that happened. But there's always, it's just, you know, we are on top of a burial ground, the Glorieta burial, well, not the ground itself, but the whole site here is part of the battlefield. Right. So who knows? I mean, I'm not sure if these things are. Some people say if they see them in their houses, and others get spooked. They start saging the houses to see if they can kind of take negativity out of the home. And they're very strong in that. As far as the saging is, they are very, very strong about doing that here.
So you sent me a couple of videos from your Ring camera. Well, one of them, and then one you sent me a personal one. So let's go ahead and watch the one that's in the bedroom. There was like a little light that popped up at the very bottom corner left, I believe, on this one. So let's watch this and talk about that real quick. That one was super fast. So
it was.
Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better. At Aquavita, visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings.
It's kind of hard to see it. I thought it was longer, but so you were having activity where the bed kept on getting unmade, right?
Right. And so that's the problem that I got really spooked. That's why I thought somebody was in the house while we were gone. I thought, and I started questioning some of my friends that a couple that come and take care of my house sometimes, that they possibly had slept. Maybe they were tired or they had to go lay down because they didn't feel well. And that was fine. But it was just that it startled me because the bed was undone. And so it happened a few times that way. And I think I sent you one where it was just, the camera, for some reason, went off at nighttime. At night, and it was dark. And all you could barely see was just a little light that came on. But you couldn't see anything behind it. I couldn't identify what it was. So, I thought, gosh, I don't know what it is, but something's happening. And I would shut the door on purpose because I wanted to see if it happened again.
Right.
Which it did, so that was a little strange.
Well, and so you sent me this video of what you found the next morning. Let's go ahead and watch that real quick, okay?
Okay.
Good morning. Just got up. Well, it happened again. Look. Looks like somebody walks in here and lays down. Nothing's coming on the camera. Literally, there's nothing on the camera. I just checked it. I'm like, what the hell? So, I don't know. I don't even know what to think about it now. Because I was up, but I was up till after midnight because I was watching TV. And then I went to bed. And I checked the room earlier before I went to bed. It was fine. I woke up this morning and looks like somebody walked in, laid on the bed, or something. I I don't understand. I'm going to take this. I'm getting tired of this bed cover. It looks like shit. I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. So, I don't know. You have any explanations? You tell me. But it literally looks like someone's been sleeping in the bed. And nobody is here. And it wasn't me walking in my sleep. So, I don't know. I'm just going to redo the bed. I'm going to fix it tight, make it up, and then I'll adjust the camera. Because I just don't understand why it's doing that. It's just weird.
Yeah, I look pretty rough.
Yeah,
talk about bedhead.
That was a long night, I guess, on that one. But you look like you were kind of dumbfounded, kind of like, it's like, okay, wait a minute, how do I?
Well, I
take
had
this?
just fixed the bed the night before. I thought maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just, and I thought I'll just fix it. I'll just set it up like I always do, just in case I ever have company. The bed's ready, the room's ready. And then I woke up and sure enough, there it was again. And so I was like, okay, now I'm kind of starting to wonder what the heck's going on.
Wow.
So,
and how many more times did that happen?
That happened at least 6 times. And then finally I went and saged it.
Get the hell out of my house, man. I'm tired of this.
My friends tell me, you better go sage it because there's something going on there. And take the Palo Santo and, and I was like, okay, I'll try anything. They were like, go and get the holy water and throw it in there.
So I know that right before that, you had a friend that dear friend had just passed away, like right before that. So you were kind of thinking that because he was like a jokester, maybe kind of doing that to you, kind of possibly that he was doing that, from the other side, maybe.
Right.
Yeah,
and I just thought it was kind of strange. I thought, well, maybe he's just visiting and he's trying to, maybe just say, hey, I'm here or something. Because an incident that happened, it was right after he passed away. Poor guy. He had passed away, and I have this beautiful curio in the corner with a lot of my crystal. And my granddaughter, I had just dropped my granddaughter off, and and I wasn't feeling very well. I wanted to come home, but I had a gut feeling. But as soon as I walked in the door, I kept trying to call her, and she wasn't answering. I got very nervous, and I thought, well, I guess she'll be okay. And as soon as I said that, the whole blind came down, and it crashed, and it broke one of my glass windows on the glass on the curio, and it startled me. And so I told my husband, I said, go check on Maylena, make sure she's okay. And sure enough, she had just lost her pet. I guess her pet had passed away. Mm-hmm. And I guess maybe he was trying to get my attention and tell me, hey, you need to go check on Maylena because there's something wrong. But yeah, someone's always trying to get my attention, I think, at some point. But that was kind of freaky.
Well, do you think that you have some kind of I don't know, maybe like your aura is sort of like grounded to where they have a way to get to, in other words, to reach out to you. In other words, to kind of contact you in a sense to
somebody else. Yeah, they said I'm a conduit. I may attract spirits. But it was funny because the house that I was living back in Texas had when my kids were little, they were watching. Joshua had a little Nintendo. And him and his friend were playing in the living room, and they were always playing. So, and I saw that I could see that the machine was still playing. And I told Joshua, I said, "Why are you playing the Nintendo?" And he goes, "We're not. We're playing over here." I said, "Well, it's playing by itself." And I said, "Well, whoever's here, I guess it's a ghost. They want to play Nintendo." And we thought that was kind of funny. But I used to have I had a girlfriend of mine that used to come over all the time, and every time she'd say, "Are the ghosts okay?" Because the doors I don't think they liked her. So doors would slam. Every time she was there, it would slam or something. I mean, all of a sudden you just hear this wham, and she'd run out the door because she thought maybe they didn't like her. Or, if I was, because I worked 2 or 3 jobs at the time, if I was running late to take the kids to school, I would fill my waterbed like somebody was moving it up and down, and I would say, I'm awake. And I would get up to take the kids to school, And I thought, okay, it's a good ghost.
Right. Wow.
That's okay. I don't mind those. Those are okay.
So probably now where you live there in Pecos, you probably carry like maybe a bushel of sage.
Right.
to keep that cleansed, all the time.
Right. I do have 3 of those, and then I have a girlfriend that brings me some periodically. But I noticed, like in my bedroom, I had the ringer. I just wanted to see if I could catch anything, and I noticed I would move it all parts of the room, and everything was fine. But I stuck it on one corner of the room, and you could see stuff just shooting up in it. It almost looked like little bugs just shooting straight up in the air, but a lot of them, like choom, choom, choom. And I thought, oh, maybe that's a doorway. But as long as it's me alone, I'm okay.
Yeah, and then plus you have a lot of history there, right in that area. Like there was like battles and wars.
That was the battlefield, yeah. Yep. They always have the reenactment. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. So they have it here, and it's pretty interesting. But yeah, they have there's a lot of activity here, and it's not just me. I talked to some because I'm pretty close to some of my friends down here, and I asked them about it. I'm like, hey, do you guys ever have any like things move around, or like the door hit, or something slide over, dishes fall? They're like, sometimes, but not a lot. And I said, well, my house has a lot. And I don't know why, but it's okay. It's like I said, as long as they don't put me in a position to where I have to call somebody to help me with poltergeist or something, we're okay.
I believe that. I believe that 100%. Because you send me sage all the darn time, because I have to do it here at home too. Not just because it's just some creepy stuff happens here in this house too. Now we just found out. Now I've never told anybody this, but we just found out from this. We have a neighbor across the street. I just met him maybe a month ago, and he's like the Mrs. Kravitz of the neighborhood. So he's been here for like 30 years. So he knows everybody that's been up and down this block, like moved in, moved out. He knows the whole stories of what happened to everybody, divorce, whatever. Anyway, so he goes, hey man, so how you liking your house? We've been here, going on 2 years. I said, it's nice. We like it. We enjoy it here. He goes, yeah. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Yeah. He was like, well, did anybody tell you about what happened there? And I was like, no. Why? He's like, well, there was a man that lived there. He was a retired postal worker. He hurt himself at work, and he said he was trying to milk his what do you call that, disability, or this thing that they get from labor, from
workforce solutions.
The workers' right? Because he liked to drink. He said, man, he liked to drink. He was a drinker. I was like, oh, okay. He goes, so he milked him, man, for about 6 months, 8 months. And finally, they got an investigator out there, and they caught him outside cutting down trees, and they took it away from him. And then once they took his money away from him, and then he lost his job at the post office, they go, one night we just saw the ambulances there at your house before you lived there. I was like, okay, well, what happened? He goes, the guy shot himself. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, he shot. And I, as soon as he said that, I said, I knew it. I went like that. I told him, he goes, what do you mean? I go, dude, in my office, there's a couple of big red blot spots there, huge, but they're like a dark color. And when we got this house, I told Kelly, I said, hey, honey, that looks like blood, man. She goes, probably the dog spilled something there, maybe some juice, whatever. Oh, that looks like blood. And it's kind of weird. Check this out. Like right before I talked to that neighbor across the street, like maybe the day before, I moved one of my pieces that I have on this other side. I moved it out of the way, and I saw that same color of blood there on that side too. And I was like, man, that looks like blood, man. And lo and behold, the neighbor starts telling me the story. Now, the guy didn't kill himself. He shot himself like right here, and it went through and it came out on the side of his cheek. But it shot out blood everywhere and everything. Apparently he lived. But sometimes when people are in a dark place, like these dark spirits or dark things kind of attach themselves in a sense. And I felt that every time we were here, or every time I worked up here, sometimes I would feel like something touching my shoulder or whatever. I don't know if you see some podcasts where I'm like turning, I'm looking because I think something's there, right? But I feel like the natives had it right the whole time, correct?
They've always had it, and let me tell you something else. Well, we've got the prison. So we had one of the worst prison breakouts. Well, there was a fight and the whole thing happened here in New Mexico, but the inmates actually burned people, and you can actually see the spot where they actually burned the actual person on the ground. And I walked in there, I got a tour because I worked for the state. And so they gave me a tour, and I thought, oh my gosh, this place is kind of creepy. But I still came out of there with some negativity. I think something was attaching itself to where I got home, and I kept seeing things wasn't going right. I didn't feel right. I felt very uneasy. And I said, I got to say to myself, maybe there's some bad juju there, from what happened in that little prison. But I believe it. I think that if you run around people that are negative or go somewhere where there's or funerals, gosh, I hate funerals sometimes, because I come out with something, you never can tell, right. But you just have to be careful. I mean, there's things that's unexplainable. Some people are more intuitive than I am on stuff like that. I never try to kind of put myself in that position to where I want more. I want to see it, or I want to see the ghost, or I just kind of leave it all out there, because I don't want to attract anything. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, but I think these things happen to people, I think a lot of people. They want to admit it. They don't want to admit it.
Yes, true. And there's, everybody's had that feeling. You walk into something and then the hairs stand up on your arm, right? Like something cold in there. Like, it's something happened. Something. It's just, I don't know, something about those kind of things. Now, let's move forward. We got just a little bit of time left. So let's talk about recent on, any recent sightings that you've had, lately?
Yeah, I came home one evening. I was tired from work, and I was trying to get something to eat, and all the dogs were barking again. They were going crazy, and I'm like, so I ignored them at first and took off my tennis shoes and decided I was just going to put my flip-flops, and the dogs were still going crazy. My dog wanted to go outside, so I didn't know what was going on, and so I finally went outside. I'm like, I'm going to go see what's going on. And so I looked up, and I could see the Big Dipper, and I've never seen it this bright. It was like somebody had literally charged all of these stars that actually make that L, right? And they were just bright. I thought, wow, I've never seen it like that. But then I don't know why, but I turned to the left, towards my vehicle, and I looked up and I saw this ball. And it was illuminating. It was doing this thing. And I was like, wow, what is that? And it was moving just very, 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 very slow. But you could see the light just going like this. And I kept thinking, that's so bizarre. So of course I shot up Marco Polo, and I actually said it to you because I was like, this is weird. What is that? Because it didn't go anywhere. And all the other little stars seemed like they were like nothing compared to this big ball that was out there.
Wow. And it's strange that you did that, because when I got it, I was like, I didn't see it right away until you sent me the text. Go, hey, look, open your Marco Polo, right? A lot of people will send me stuff that's happening in real time, and me, I don't think sometimes. I'm so tired, or I'm in bed, I don't look, and then a lot of people send me these things. So let's go ahead and watch what we end up recording that, and let's watch what you sent me, and let's see what let's talk about that. Here we go.
Donald, I wish you could see there's a big old white light in the sky, and it's moving. Can you see that? I don't know what that is. All the lights were flickering on all the stars, but that's what's been moving. It's a trip. It's just got like a white glow around it. Oh, and it's fading out. It's completely almost faded out. Oh shit. That is bizarre. It's almost gone. Oh, I can't see it now. Holy shit. That was weird. Well, I don't know. Hopefully you can take a copy of this.
Yep. It's when you see stuff like that, you're thinking, I wish I had a better camera, because that footage does not give it justice at all, compared to what I was seeing.
I brightened it up just a little bit so we can kind of see the thing, you know, what you were seeing. But if you notice close to the middle of the end of your video, you could see a little light blinking right here, and another one blinked over here.
I did see that. I thought that was strange. I thought, oh, look, there's little lights on there. So, but you know, and then my girlfriend at work, which is really excited about the show as well, and her sister saw something like that just 3 weeks after I saw it, and she took the video the same way, and hers was almost just like that. It was strange.
Well, we have her video. Let's. What's her name? I mean, just her first name.
Oh gosh, Patricia. Well, my girlfriend's name is Marilyn. Okay. Marilyn Martinez, but I think her name was Patricia, but her sister.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and show her footage here real quick.
Oh, Pamela.
Okay. So
Pamela.
Here's. Okay. Here's Pamela's footage. Let's check it out.
I don't know, but it looks like it's in the clouds. I mean, I could see like a star there and a star there. Maybe now that it's.
Going the other direction, we're getting behind the light instead of in front of it. They don't have their lights on.
When they have to.
Yeah, blinking lights.
Yeah, but they have to have lights on, don't they?
Only when they're on approach.
How did they? No, because you see them in the sky all the time flying. I don't know, it's just going into.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Yeah. See how she was perplexed too. So one of the things that her sister was telling me, she goes, it's because we know that airplanes have lights. They always have a green light and a red light. Right. So you always see it, you know, and it always when it's flying. But this one, you couldn't see anything. You know, it was just like this ball. That's all you could see was this ball.
So, yeah, and then you're talking about the nav lights that they have the front green or the black, or I mean the green and the red. They'll usually do like a 1, 2, and then a 3, 1, 2, and then 3. It's always the same pulse. So y'all have an actual. There's a Facebook there. It's called UFO. I think it's called UFO Santa Fe or UFO New Mexico. So
right,
something like that. So we ended up finding you found where people were seeing the same thing that you were seeing out there. Mm-hmm. To me, in this photo, it kind of looks like a sort of diamond shape. But this one says in Ventana Ranch, Abiquiu, right, or Albuquerque, the after sunset shots are from the road in front of the 3 volcanoes on the northwest side of Albuquerque. Huh. So this is what they were taking pictures of that they saw up there. That was the same day that you saw yours, correct?
Right. And it's over there by the petroglyphs. So there's a bunch of petroglyphs on that side. Right. I mean, there's a bunch out there. And that's where I think people were spotting this. But it's interesting that it looks like almost like a diamond.
It does. It almost looks like a diamond. As a matter of fact, the petroglyphs right there, we ended up we shot those when we shot your footage up there. We went up there to Albuquerque and we shot all the petroglyphs that we got. A lot of them that were on our film, the middle, from that part as well. But has anybody reported seeing anything else other than this? I mean, since then?
No, that's just been the last one. I mean, we've seen a few here and there that we're not sure what we're looking at, but I never have a camera. And then I remember I have a phone. I forget about the camera on my phone. But it would be good for me to have to capture it a little bit better. But I bet you they're out there because, I mean, you see it off and on, and you're just not sure what you're looking at. But it sure would be neat to catch, something that's actual visible that you can actually really, really see, like a craft like that. But at nighttime, I think it's hard to see it like that.
Well, you know what I started doing? What I started doing is in my truck, I have this little pocket camera. It's like those pocket ones that got a little zoom on it. Those cheap ones that are like less than $100 or something like that, $100 maybe. And just keep it fully charged, keep it in your glove box. And that way, a lot of times, because they're actually better than your cell phone sometimes. When you're looking at something at night, it'll automatically adjust the ISO and the speed and everything, and you can actually get a really good video of something or a photo too. So I keep one in my truck, offhand because or with me. I always try to take anytime we go out of town, anything like that. I said, take the camera, put it in the glove box because you never know when you're going to catch something.
Yeah, and I was actually looking at cameras the other day, and I kept thinking, I don't even know which one to get. Kept looking at all the different kinds and, which was better at nighttime, because typically when I always see them is at nighttime, right. It's just like when Roddy and I had gone camping once in Lake Conchas, we call Conchas Lake. So we were out there and we could see something and we said, what is that? And you just really can't tell, but you're thinking, is that what I think it is? Or is that just something else? Or is it a shooting star? But shooting stars are funny because you see them burning out.
Right.
Always see him burning out. This one, I didn't see burn out at all. I mean, it just stayed there and then it just kind of disappeared. So that was interesting. But I just wish I would have been able to see something in the sky when I saw it that day. But it was a little strange, that's for sure. I've never forgotten it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I remember that when you guys were camping, you sent me a Marco Polo that both of you guys, I can hear both of y'all talking. When you were trying to get that something that was out there that y'all guys had spotted. I didn't get to save it though on my Marco Polo. But,
yeah, it was on the edge of a cliff. We were on the edge of a cliff, and we were kind of looking at it. I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "I bet you that's it. That's one. I bet you that's one of them." But it's because, like I said before, the skies are pretty clear out here. I mean, we're not in the city, so you don't have a bunch of lights, so it doesn't dull the lights from the stars, and you can see everything pretty nice. But it's actually it's pretty cool when you see it, when you catch one anyway.
Wow. Well, we're going to fixing to close out here. So I just want to thank you for being on the show today. I know people got a lot of insights, because this is what this is about, the information, the insights. Thank you for being on the middle. A lot of people really enjoyed your segment, part of it, and it's the way you explained it was explained in a really good way for people to understand. And I hope we were able to get it visually for you as much as we could to get as close as possible.
I thought it was great. I thought you did a phenomenal job on that the middle, and then I was very lucky to actually see your other one as well, the trailer. I was all excited. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait for it to come out. So that's a must-see movie for sure. They both are.
Wow. Now, yeah. So now let's go ahead and leave this. This is one big surprise here at the very end if people don't know. So we are related. Yeah. So Liz is actually my older sister, and I'm the lower child.
You're the baby.
I'm kind of like a baby. So if you guys didn't know that, and the reason I got her on the film, not just because she's my sister or anything like that, but I want you guys to understand that she told me this story long before I became a filmmaker. She told me long before I decided to do podcasting. She told me these stories because I lived up there 10 years ago, maybe. And then you were telling these stories to me, and I always remembered over and over. And then when I started putting this film together, and then I thought, you know what? We need to get your segment on there. And I'm glad we did, because I don't know, man, but you see a lot of crazy stuff out there. I see a lot of crazy stuff on my end. You know, we'll always have our eyes in the skies now, right? Do you focus more like that now?
Well, yeah, you can't help it. I mean, now that it's getting dark at 5 o'clock, I mean, by the time I get home, it's 5:30 and it's already pitch dark. And, you know, so you can't help but to look up, you know. I think the only strangest thing I ever saw, and people actually pulled over, and gosh, I don't even remember when this was. It must have been about a decade ago. But I actually was just coming off the highway, and all of a sudden it looked like a plane with a cross on it that was flying overhead, and everybody pulled over, and a bunch of people were taking videos and photos, but of course our phones weren't that good back then. And I tried to take a picture, but I couldn't see it, but it actually looked like a cross. And I was like, wow, that was different, you know, but I've never seen it again.
I remember that. I remember when you told me that.
Yeah.
So I know there's some crazy, I saw a lot of crazy stuff out there when I was living up there, and I know that I saw different kind of things. Now, do you have any last words for people out there about, you know, ufology, the stigmas that come along with it, you know, how people should kind of, you know, think about when they watch these films, things like that?
Well, you know, people have to understand that we're not the only ones. I mean, there's no way that we're the only ones on Earth or anywhere else for that matter. The universe is humongous. There has to be other life. It's bound to have been there forever, for decades, or, you know, I mean, you can't imagine we're going to be the only human beings that have ever been, or animal or whatever, on a planet. I think people need to do what you always say: keep an open mind, understand that, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of. You don't have to worry about being picked on or made fun of. You know, it happened, and you're going to stick to the facts, and you're just going to express yourself. So if you have something to share it with Donald. Donald is really good at what he does, and he's got some, you know, he'll put you on his show, and he'll be more than happy to introduce you. And so that way everybody can hear what you have to say. I think it's important to let it out sometimes. Sometimes you need to get it off your chest. It's important that, you know, instead of holding it in and thinking that, you know, you're the only one that's ever had issues, or start taking medication because now everybody thinks you're nuts. Stop all that. Talk about it and reach out to some of these groups. There's some really good groups out there.
Yep. And that's why we mentioned it in the middle to CE3. They mentioned a lot of that in there of talking about it and the stigmas that come along with it. But thank you for being on the show today. Okay. If anybody wants to get a hold of you or just talk to you about anything, is there a way to get a hold of you?
They can always email me or call me or wherever they want. It's fine. It's just, I mean, the facts are facts. I mean, you know, nobody's going to make it up. I mean, you're making stuff up, and you're just trying to impress yourself or anybody else will listen. Stick to the facts.
Right. And you know when somebody's not being truthful because their stories change. Yours has been straight through the whole thing. Nothing has changed. So
it's on MUFON. They can go look at themselves.
Yeah, if we can find them.
And probably 911 too. They probably have it as the crazy lady they called.
Well, again, thank you for being on the show today. We really appreciate you. Thank you for the insights, and just hang loose in the background. And then, like I said, we appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thank you for having me.
Right. Call your mama. I just had to throw that in there. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to today's extras. You know, we always have a good time every time I talk to my sister. I just love her to death. And, you know, she supports me 100%. I support her 100%. Everything that we do it all together. We do it as a family. Even with the alien stuff, the alien strand, the supernatural, everything, we all stick together and we do everything together. And because she knows with everything that we're doing that we're trying to help people, as well as her story today is going to help people as well. So, you know, well, that's the best way to kind of explain it, right? So thank you for being today, just watching Alien Strand Extras. It was great. You got to get more deeper insights on what happened to her and what's happened to her afterwards. This is a great thing about the extras here on Patreon and what you pay for, because you get what you pay for, man. Other people ain't going to hear these stories. You guys are. Thank you. I really appreciate you for just being a part of it, man, and just contributing to Alien Strand Extras. $5 a month. You can't beat that with a stick, and it helps us go a longer way, and it helps us help other folks as well. All right? But until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. Have yourselves good night.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.